Hi, Uma's classroom is live again. Today I'm here to discuss few points about geometry. This is purely a topic for high schoolers, especially 8th graders, ninth graders, who all are handling any coursework of geometry. But during in my journey of teaching, whatever I have seen, the students when they learn how to write a proof in geometry, then it's very challenging for most of them. So I'm here just with some practical examples and experiences. Honestly speaking, I'm telling you how to write a proof step by step and what I have learned when I was in your stage. So, first of all, I must say, when you are trying to write a proof, before writing that one, please review the theorems given in the chapter you are attempting. And if you read the theorems loudly, try to understand the meanings of the uh, sentences given over there, it would be quite easier for you all to handle the writing a proof. Your proof may be known, may be unknown. So if it's known, that means you are directly getting the proof from your book. If it is unknown, that means the theorem is already provided in your book. This is your time to apply the theorem. Today, here I picked up two examples. First, I will show you the problem. I want you to copy the problem and then I will guide how to write a proof for that step by step. Then finally, I will show you the answer, exact proof, how should it look like, as you can compare your writing with my answer. And whenever you are practicing a proof, please make sure that you are sitting with your pen and paper, because theories you can definitely read loudly, but when you are practicing a proof, it is always suggested to write them down. So I hope you are ready with your pen and paper. And here is my first question. And today I did not bring any whiteboard with me because I want to show how did I manage these proofs when I was in your level, school level. And in school level, most of the times we are using pen and paper. So it's time to start writing your question. I'm showing you the question. I hope you can see the question. Please copy the question. You can see two parallel lines and they are named. Then some informations are provided. Note them down and start writing your answer. Two-column writing method is very popular and I think it is easy to handle also. In two-column method, you will have to make two columns. Left-hand side column will be named as statements and your right-hand side column will be named as reasons. And when doing any geometrical drawing, please use your ruler and pencil. Do not draw any arbitrary line. I hope you are done with copying the question. or making some notes how to go with this. Now it's your time to try this proof. First you try, then finally I will tell you how what is the exact one, and I will show you the answer in the same way as you can again copy them down. Most of the students they prefer to write the two-column method, but if you are not comfortable with it, you can definitely write it as a paragraph. Paragraph method is also acceptable. I'm just showing you for one moment how to draw the columns to go with two-column method. This is the two-column method. I hope you can clearly see that I made two columns. The left column is named as statements and the right column is named as reasons. I hope you have started writing your proof. Here first I want to give you a step-by-step guideline. This question is actually taken from, hope you have already understood, it is taken from parallel and perpendicular lines chapter. So before moving to or try any proof from this chapter, I would suggest please go through the theorems provided in your book. Read all the theory parts, and whenever you are reading, sit with a pen and paper or pencil and paper, whatever it is, and just make a simple drawing if required, then go with the theorems, learn the theorems first, because in your proof you are actually going to use the theorems. So if the theorems are not very clear to you, definitely writing any proof would be difficult. So I'm coming to the proof directly. First of all, in my first statement, I would prefer to write down the given statements. So in statement column, point 1, I would prefer to write H parallel to K, comma, J is perpendicular to H. This is my statement portion. And for reasons portion, point 1 would be given, because these two statements H parallel to K and J perpendicular to H, this is the given statement. So that's why I picked up these 2 points, and it is the only reason why did I suddenly write. Now I am coming to point 2 or step 2. Measurement of angle 2 equals 90 degree. Measurement of angle 2 equals 90 degree. This is my statement. As a reason, I would prefer to write definition of perpendicular lines, because if you look at the picture, you can clearly see it is clearly mentioned J is perpendicular to H. And so we can write statement 2 as measurement of angle 2 equals 90 degree. This is the statement part, and reason part is going to be definition of perpendicular angles. I'm coming to step 3. In the next step, in statement part, I would prefer to write angle 2 is congruent with angle 6. And in reason part, I would prefer to write corresponding angles theorem. One more point, not only the theorems, writing any proof, the geometrical definitions should also be clear to you. Otherwise, it is difficult to correlate. I'm coming to step 4. In step 4, I would prefer to write measurement of angle 2 is congruent to measurement of angle 6, because 2 and 6 they are congruent, so measurement wise they are also congruent. And as a reason, I would prefer to write definition of congruent angles. Definition of congruent angles. Next, step 5. Measurement of angle 6 is then going to be 90 degree. As angle 2 is 90 degree, so measurement of angle 6 is also going to be 90 degree. This is my statement for step 5. And as a reason for step 5, I would prefer to write transitive property of equality. Transitive property of equality. And in the final step, step 6, I would prefer to write J perpendicular to K. J perpendicular to K. And in the reason column for step 6, I would prefer to write definition of perpendicular lines. Definition of perpendicular lines. So I hope from the terminologies you are very clear that before attempting any proof writing, you need to know the relevant definitions, properties, and theorems. Now I am showing you my paper. You can make a correction wherever necessary, or you can note down the proof. Yes, I hope you are good in writing this proof. I would like to move to my second example. And I have a guideline for the middle schoolers also. Though these topics are mainly covering high school curriculum, but still definitions of geometry, sometimes few properties, sometimes few simple theorem that is also available in the geometry books of 6th grade, 7th grade or 8th grade. So whenever you are getting any definition, make sure that you are very clear about it and you are good with relevant drawing. So if you can handle this from your 5th grade or 6th grade, then when you will be in your 9th or 10th grade, up higher level, where you have to handle the proofs, I think it would be easier for you. Because I repeat, proofs doesn't mean only you need to know the theorems, you need to understand the definitions, you need to know the geometrical definitions, drawings, and the properties related to those geometrical figures, all these things. And when you can remember them well during exam, it's easier for you to write any unknown proof. I'm moving to my second example. This example is taken from congruency of triangles, and in this chapter you need to learn a few theorems which you will be using to prove whether two triangles are congruent or not. Just like that, out of all theorems, here in my proof, I will be using any one of them. So just like before, I am showing you the problem. First, you copy the problem or make a note of the problem as you can go with, and then I will give you step-by-step guidance. You can note it down or you can wait for a while. When I'm showing my answer, you can copy them down. Or if you are doing it on your own, you can check always. Here is the problem. Now it's your time to give it a try. I hope you all have noticed that in my drawings I have used my ruler. Yeah, definitely here I have used a black ballpoint pen. In drawing, definitely you are not going to use that one. In your time you would be doing with a pencil. I have made this with a black ballpoint pen as you all can see it clearly. So please go with this problem, give it a try. Now I'm providing you step-by-step guideline. Just like before, make two columns, and the left hand side column would be named as statements, whereas the right hand side column would be named as reasons. In left hand side column, the first step I would prefer to write line segment AD is parallel to line segment EC. Excuse me. And as a reason, I would prefer to write given. That is given in my question. In statement part, step 2 is angle D is congruent to angle C. Excuse me. And for reason part, I would prefer to write alternate interior angle theorem. And you know all these theorems, alternate interior angle theorem, this is actually coming from angles and parallel lines. So I hope you have noticed one chapter is related to another chapter, one proof is related to another proof. So always keep revising the definitions, theorems, whatever is available in your textbook. Next, step 3 is line segment BD is congruent to line segment BC. And in reasoning part, I would prefer to write under step 3 as given because this is given in my question. Then step 4, angle ABD is congruent to angle EBC. Angle ABD is congruent to angle EBC. In reason part, statement 4, I would prefer to write vertical angles congruence theorem. Vertical angles congruence theorem. And this is again from the chapter Angles and Parallel and Perpendicular Lines, Vertical Angle Theorem. But using all these theorems, what we have done actually, if you look into your statement part, look at step 2, where we have written angle D is congruent to angle C. So here I am talking about angle. Step 3, where line segment BD is congruent to line segment BC. Here I am talking about a side. And in step 4, angle ABD is congruent to angle EBC. Here again I am talking about another angle. So if you look at the steps, first you started with angle, then you came to a side, then again you wrote your statement and reason for another angle. So angle, side, angle. This is the popular theorem of congruency of triangles known as ASA. And I hope you know the theorem. If two sides and the included angle of one triangle is equal to the two sides of the included angle of the other triangle, then these two triangles are considered as congruent according to the ASA theorem of congruency of triangles. Angle, side, angle. I Angle, side angle is actually I'm sorry, not side angle, side. Two angles and the included side of the first triangle is going to be equal or congruent to the two angles and the included side of the second triangle. So ASA. I have a feeling that while telling you the statements, most probably I have said SAS, side angle side. No, here we have used ASA. I'm sorry for that if anything has happened like, and I hope you can rectify the error. And in the final step, step 5, is triangle ABD is congruent to triangle EBC. And ABD, EBC, these names would be clear from the diagram, the picture I have drawn. And for step 5, reason part, I would prefer to write ASA congruence theorem. Now I'm showing you the proof part, and here you can clearly see what you have to write, and definitely you will get a chance if you make any error in writing ASA theorem. So please be cautious in correcting. Here is the solution. I hope you can clearly see the problem and the solution part as well. So this is the way you can try writing your proofs, and I hope it would be easier for you to handle if you clearly understand step by step how to do that, and make sure you are very good in understanding or remembering the definitions of different geometrical figure and other geometrical definitions, drawing, and properties, and of course the theorem. And for all these things in my student life, I used to read them loudly first, then, and always I sat with a pen and paper as I can practice them as well. Sometimes it could be a scribbling, but that's also fine. And go through the solved examples in from your book and practice as much as you can. Thank you so much.